In the darkest depths of the ocean, where light never reaches, where no one ever goes, a secret had been hiding for decades, something the world had forgotten, something we were determined to bring back. This is not just the story of a car. This is the story of giving life a second chance. More than 100 meters deep, where water pressure can crush a human body in seconds, our divers saw something they couldn't believe. Beneath thick layers of barnacles, beneath poisoned, corroded iron, behind curtains of ocean algae and seaweed, a Mercedes-Benz G-Class was hiding for over 60 years, alone, in the darkness, waiting. Its black paint had completely vanished. The leather seats had rotted to ash. The wooden wheels had broken apart and scattered. The brass headlamps were buried so deep in rust they were barely recognizable. But it was there, not alive but not dead either. And in that very moment we made a decision. This car is coming back. Pulling a car from the ocean floor is never simple. Our salvage vessel carried equipment normally used to recover entire ships from the sea. Thick steel cables, each one as wide as a man's waist. Heavy chains whose every single link was bigger than a fist. Industrial hooks capable of lifting tons. Our specialist divers spent hours doing nothing but securing the cables and chains in exactly the right positions. Because if anything went wrong, the car would sink back down, and this time forever. Then came that moment. The crane operator gripped the joystick. The team held their breath. The cables pulled so tight they began to vibrate. And then, for the first time in 60 years, it moved. From the ocean floor, where it had made its home, the Mercedes-Benz G-Class began to rise. Barnacles rained down from its body. Sheets of seaweed tumbled away. Ocean sediment spread like a cloud across the entire seafloor. And when it broke through the surface, when that car felt air for the first time in decades, every single one of us went completely silent. It wasn't just metal that came up to the surface. It was a promise that we would fix this, completely, forever. Once it was placed on deck and the experts took a deep look, the true scale of the damage became clear. Not a single panel was intact. Not a single surface had survived. The engine hadn't turned once in decades. Marine life had made a home inside the interior. Starfish, crabs, sea worms, all living among the remnants of that burgundy leather. One expert said, "In 30 years I have never seen a car this completely destroyed." But then he said something else. "The bones are good. The structure is still there. This can be built again." And that was all we needed to hear. At the break of dawn, with a police escort, a flatbed truck carried that wreck through the streets of the city. People stopped and some took photos. Some smiled. They didn't know what it was, but we knew. This was a champion on its way to its workshop. The restoration work began, and it continued for months. First, by hand, every single barnacle was removed one by one. Every rust patch was chemically treated one by one. Then the engine was completely pulled out, seized, corroded, lifeless, and placed into parts. Washing tanks where decades of corrosion began dissolving away. Clean metal started to shine again for the first time. Angle grinders ran across the body panels. A shower of sparks, and the true face of steel emerged that had been hidden for 60 years. New steel was welded in wherever rust had eaten completely through. Every panel, one by one, was restored. Then came the gray primer coat. The silhouette, that iconic G-Class shape, appeared clearly for the very first time without rust, without barnacles. And, in another corner of the workshop, a master craftsman was hand-cutting deep burgundy red leather. The same color, exactly as it had been made in the factory. Everything was coming back, piece by piece. In the paint booth, when deep gloss black paint was sprayed onto that body for the very first time, several of us felt our eyes fill with tears. That black, that exact same deep jet black the ocean had once stolen, had come back. And this time it was mirror-like, flawless, perfect. The brass headlamps became gold on the buffing wheel. The three-pointed star hood ornament shone exactly as it had on day one. The wooden wheels were wrapped in lacquer, brand new. And when the deep burgundy red diamond, button leather seats were installed, those seats where once there was nothing but rot and black sludge, the car became complete. Spotlights on, and there it stood, the Mercedes-Benz G-Class. The G-Class that spent 60 years on the ocean floor. That barnacles had buried, that rust had consumed, that the world had forgotten. Now its jet black paint held the reflection of studio lights, exactly like a mirror. The scent of burgundy red leather was fresh and rich. The brass headlamps shone like the sun. The wooden wheels looked as though the car had just rolled out of the factory. This was not just a restoration. This was a battle, the stubbornness of human hands, against the destruction of nature, and we won. From the depths of the ocean to the light of the showroom, this was the Mercedes-Benz G-Class, once again alive.